All right, here's our replay for December 5th, 2023. And for today, I'm looking at December 5th, 2023. Now, when we bring this out over here, you can see from this time frame from today that this is a 5-minute chart. And you can see it's just, look at all this flip-flopping around. And here's the 5th. Where'd we open today? Okay, there's 6:30. So you got a decent move up and then a bit of a move down, and then the rest was pretty much from this point onward. I would not want to be in that. And I wasn't. That's no good. And then, let me speed this thing up. Just gonna go over some order flow. I should probably do some of these live, but I would only post it afterwards in the Bookmap Discord. Just be respectful to the streamers in there. I'd post it after market hours. But, let's see. We look at all this just sideways. What a mess. So right around 1300, then there's a move. Right there finally starts to go up towards the end. But anyway, what's the strongest looking move out of all this? Well, I would have to say it's this one. Let's try to zoom into this segment here. And what do we see? Well, you see this come onto the book. And, you know, we've had some ask liquidity fill. So this comes onto the book and this starts moving down. Then you have this, some bids, pushing it further down. You see the buyers exhausting here. The buyers really don't look to be that interested here. That's a little bit of a pullback. This, not such a strong move down. And this is a solid move down. So I don't know, overall, would I be looking for... this is a weird looking pullback. Oh, I guess if you go here. Or maybe this one here. That does look like a kind of a... Well, there's a good amount of volume compared to a lot of these dots. Okay, perhaps this one here. This looks like a decent solid move up. Let me see if I can rate that. Setups checklist. If I see any other good move. That was news related. I'm not going to really count that. And you did have a move right here. Then as soon as the opening bell started, a lot of chop. Not very That is quite a bit of a pullback too, quite a bit of sell volume. This move up with the VPOC shift, with this, the sellers are getting weak in here. It's not that far of a pullback, you know, it's a little bit less than halfway. You've got bid liquidity here. You see, so I'll be looking at, put a rectangle here so we know what we're looking at. Gonna look at what's going on within this rectangle here. We're going to be looking at all this. That's a good move. You have trap traders here. Give that like a 6. Let's see, we have a steep large price move, and that's a pretty good, it's a pretty good one right there. A 67. It's the full move. 74, 75. We're talking about 7, 8 points. I give that a, I could give that an 8. That looks like a good move. And then do we have a measured move? Could be this one, because this starts to chop out quite a bit. Then from here, 75 up to 80. That's potentially worth taking. Get 5 points. Potentially. I might give that about a 7. Looks like a decent continuation move. Minor pullback move. This is all fairly weak. I really don't see the sellers coming on too hard other than this bubble. That's your only one. Then this refuses to go lower than this high volume node. So when you see it pop here, and you see these this liquidity begin to pull, that's kind of questionable as to whether that's a good entry point, but then you have, you know, take some of your profit here, your profit at some of these points. Could even attempt to ride it all the way up. But, you know, maybe scale up here, take some of the profit, get risk neutral. Try to continue on with that. It's hard to tell where to stop at. But you have plenty of bid liquidity underneath feeding it. You know, here you have trap traders. Entry large volume after absorption or exhaustion. Well, that would be right here. They were still getting a decent amount of volume here. And we have these adding. So that's another target, and then this pulls. Goes up here. I would give that, you know, we have bidding liquidity. Minor pullback move. We have this feeding it. We have the VPOC shifting up, so I give that a 7. Large entry. I don't I'll give it a 6. Steep and large price move, strong relative volume. Here, it's pretty good. This one's pretty good. Not great, but decent, so I'll give it a 6. Target. We have a target up here. It's been sitting there for a while, so it's not a bad target. Give it a 7. Exit high liquidity absorption and opposing traders. Well, I should probably, I don't think, okay, I can put the absorption indicator on. See what happened with the absorption. You have volume after the absorption here. That's more of an entry point. So I'll give that a 6. And then this up here, it just, I see a point where there's a book flip. Well, you could go, you know, there's, we have this coming on the book, but then it pulls as soon as this comes here. This is hard for me to tell. Why did it end right here? Overall, I mean, you can see the flag pattern here. I don't think that's a terrible trade. It doesn't have all that much range. Depends on what your entry is. Because this refusal to go lower here, along with these bids pushing up, and somewhere within here you could say there's your entry or here. I'll look closer at that and see what happened. Okay, well, you can see this continue to go up, so pushed right through here. We have more sellers, more ask liquidity coming up here. That could be a magnet drawing this further up there because we start to lose some of these orders from down here, and they're starting to push up higher. You start to see, you know, here's this cluster of bid liquidity. Now you're starting to see it up here. You're seeing this almost like a bracket. Here's this, and it would seem others entered in here as well, as you see this cluster pushing things up. And then, you know, it could take profits here at these different levels of liquidity. There's 82, 84. Depends how you want to play it. Micros, you can spread these out further. Although with micros, NQ might be the better choice to go with micros. It depends. I've heard people say micros can be better with NQ because there's more movement. And this was a difficult to read day because it started with an uptrend, and then as you can see, it just I mean, you can see this, but you can see how it's just the rest of the day after here for any continuation moves. This is just, this doesn't look good to me. That's, I tried to keep out of it anyway. But not like I'm a real expert at any sort of setups. I'm just working on continuation moves. So yeah, where is my... Where'd that thing go, mate? Where's my setups checklist? Oh, here it is. So my exit, let's see what the score is going to be on that. Exit, high liquidity absorption. I don't really see much of that. It's not that obvious to me, so I have to give that a 5. So not the best setup, 6.5. Not particular, you know, I'm still working on this. That just, would I want to put money on this? You know, once I see that it's not going below here, we see it start to exhaust, we have bid liquidity. If you're just running ES and you see that, that could be worth it. Micro ES, I don't see how you can make any money off of it if this is all you're getting is 10 points. That can work out pretty well with a standard ES contract. So the rest of this day here for the setups I'm working on, it's garbage. It's just bouncing around in this range all day. I can go here, see what's the economic events going on. Today, yeah, we had PMI jolts. Tomorrow, non-farm. Yeah, you have non-farm crude oil. This is happening. The crude oil might kick some volatility in around 7:30. But then you look after that. There's one thing at 8:30. See what this thing is. They don't really explain what that is. Oh. Well, Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, that must be gross domestic product. I don't know what that has to do with trading. Or at least how I'm trying to do it. All this stuff after 7:30 probably clear. News events. What do I see here for flag patterns? Well, it's a... I mean, this continuing volume that builds up once it passes here, that suggests, hey, this can just continue to drop. It's a common place to retest is that point of control. Test it up where this other pivot is. And, you know, failure to get above that. On the fact you still have quite a bit of liquidity here. You have this. Almost like the shape is pushing it down. So if I'm looking around here to possibly go for a short, this could be a sign right here. See the buyers lose interest here. There's buyers still there. Got this big cluster. And somewhere around here, somewhere within here, you can see it losing interest. Where's the buyers right here? Not that many. And you have this cluster. You're retesting the same area. Where's the buyers at? They don't seem to be there. And the buyers have this to contend with if they did go up. And you have this much bigger move down. So here, if I could recognize that, a very nice move to the downside. It was hard to read in real time. I'm just going through it in hindsight now, which is much, much easier than spotting it in the moment. Because, you know, you only have a second to respond to this stuff. It all has to line up. You have to be able to line this. At most, you have a few seconds. And then there's fractions of a second where you have to figure out if you're going to respond by pushing that button or not. Now this move here, that's a little cleaner to me, because look at this pullback. That's not much of a pullback. And then somewhere around here, where's the buyers? They're testing right here. You're right at the VWAP. Where's the buyers at? And you drop down another 5 points. You might see this start to come on and go, well, is this what's happening here? Well, so you have trapped sellers now. So look at all this. Now you start to see this buying pressure come on. And they're reacting to these orders sitting there on the book. This is where you start to get the move the other way again. Oh, where was I? Oops, I lost where I was. Oh. Oh, well, I lost where I was. Oh, I was closer towards the end here, I think. No? Oh, I lost where I was. Here's another possible flag pattern. Just not much range at all. Can't even get 5 points out of that. Don't know if that's one to consider. Well, here's a pivot. Here's a move starting to go up. Some volume. You see the bids moving up. A retest to here, where you weren't able to get more buyers, and now the sellers are not able to push it down past where this is. So that is not that much of a pullback, less than half of the move. So that could be potentially decent move there. The target somewhere around here, but where's the liquidity? So it still doesn't look that great. It's a difficult one to read today. I think that's about all I have, and it's getting late here. It's 11:39. I did take a nap this afternoon for a while. It was a pretty long nap, but I do need to get to sleep. I have some things to take care of tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording here. And have a nice night, everybody. And I'm going to try to make a few more videos this week. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow. So adios, everybody.